Well, welcome you guys. Chris Hare here, the Crypto Cowboy. What a Friday it was. I normally enter these with a happy Thursday, happy Friday, but there wasn't a lot about happy about it today. I know a lot of you guys got wrecked. I'm really sorry, but we're going to work on trying to fix that. We're going to work on risk management. We're going to work on not catching fallen knives. We're going to work on being patient and letting these moves come to us. Updated you guys with a few videos today, letting you know what was going on. And we're going to get you better. That's what I'm here for. I want to teach you guys to learn to trade crypto. Like I said earlier today, I'm just a horseshoer out making a living and looking for a little freedom. And this can provide freedom, but you have to be ready. You have to be smart. You have to use risk management. I've gotten several messages today from people that didn't have stop losses, and you can see why you need them now. This happened to me in January. I lost way more money than anybody should, and I learned my lesson the hard way. So what I'm going to do is try to get you guys to avoid that hard way and do it the right way. But don't be down. It happens. This market is highly manipulated, like you could see today, and we'll get through it. Tomorrow's a new day. We'll find a floor. We'll wait on a little bit of consolidation, and then we'll attack this move. Do I think the bull market's over? I don't think it is. I think we've still got another shot, and we'll show that in the charts. But I'm going to end with that. So if you guys are enjoying these videos, hit the like button. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell notification. You'll get notifications as soon as we drop a video. I dropped a couple today during the middle of the fallback, and they were very valuable. So I want you guys to take a look at those, keep up with me, and see if we can't get you guys going on the right track. Enough of that. Let's go on. Found this on my X page just a few minutes ago. $18 billion liquidated from the crypto market today. Absolutely bloody. I don't know if I've ever seen a pullback outside of when the Germans sold off all the Bitcoin that it fell that hard, that rapidly. My phone just kept going off. 111,000, 110,000, 109,000. I had to stop working and I just watched the phone. My client watched with me and we just watched it fall and fall and fall and fall. But enough of that. Let's move on. If you follow my channel, we talked about the pullback last night. It worked out for me. 527% on Ethereum, and that went even higher, up to 1,034%. I took a ton of profit there, and I'm glad I did. That wick went right, the price action went straight back up, trying to recover. I'm not sure that it's done, but I just kept taking profit. The trade's still open. I've got my stop losses above the daily 50 moving average, and if we cross that, then we get into a bullish scenario again. But let's break it down. Let's figure out what's going on, what's happening, and where we go from here. We'll go out to the Crypto Fear and Greed Index first. Gives you an idea of market sentiment. We were at 58 or 59, almost in greed yesterday, and boom, just dropped. 35, we're in fear. Everybody's scared. Nobody knows what's going on. Shorts are piling in. It's going to take a while before any kind of move makes, and we're going to have to build some structure before I feel like we go up again. But if you go to the Bitcoin liquidation heat map that shows where all the liquidations are now, there's none to the bottom side, guys. We've got to let some build in. So naturally, the price action is going to come up. If you go up, I went to a weekly heat map just to find it. But if you look at that, there's still $2.62 billion worth of short liquidations sitting up there. I do see these pockets around 118 to 120. We'll break that down later to see what we get to. We've got to have some kind of rebound. Just like when you're at the top, you got to come down. Just like when you hit these bottoms like that, you've got to come up a little bit and reload the gun, reload the spring that we've talked about. So that's Bitcoin. We kind of got an idea of what's going on. Let's move on into the chart, figure out where we are, what happened. I went out to the weekly charts. We really needed to see a more macro time frame to really understand what was going on. And I said this in my videos today. You just need to zoom out and take a look at the broader picture. When you look at that red candle, it's really not as big as it seems. It's big, don't get me wrong, but we've still got some room here. And I think that we're probably got a little more downside left in the tank. You can see this was all where the whales stepped in at $74,000, and we've done nothing but go up ever since. They took a little profit here at about 111,000. That was a previous all-time high. And then we just started hitting all-time high, all-time high, all-time high. And when these things do this, guys, they've got to cool off. We talked last night that spring's got to recoil to push back and make another explosive move. And that's exactly what's happening right now. Now then, with that, I think this move was highly manipulated. They knew what they were doing. Everybody that went long here just got wiped out. Everybody that went long here nearly got wiped out. And I think they're going to come back for them. You can see we put our golden zone to the downside right down here. We've talked about this 50 moving average last night. So this is an average of 50 candles, and it creates a line, and it works as a fluid support and resistance rather than a horizontal support and resistance. And the charts really like to respect it. You can see it's never really came down and touched it again. If we move this chart up a little bit, you can see we touched it right down here. It tried to rebound, came back above it, tried to retest, couldn't do it, and then finally it just took off to the top side. That was way back in April of 23. But anyway, here we are. What I think is these things typically like to bounce here. You can tell that's a top, so that's really strong support. We flipped it from resistance into support. Now we have to come back down and retest it. You notice it never retested it. It tried to here, and it found a little support, and it's worked its way back up. But what you have to understand is a lot of time these wicks, and it'll look bigger on a daily chart, they like to come back and fill those wicks out. So our golden zone sits at around $89,000, and you can tell the 50 moving average on the weekly is headed that way. So I think we've got a week or two of downside. I don't think this move is done. And I want you guys to be extra cautious on your next moves. If you go out to the daily, same thing. This is going to break that move down just a little lower. And I'm not going to go below a daily chart tonight because we need to understand the macro picture before we get into anything else. You can see it lost that 50 moving average on the daily. You can tell it lost it, came back up, gained support, retested, put in a high of $117,000. Then it lost it again. And it found some support here on this trend line, which is strong support again, kept its support, pushed all the way up to that all-time high at 125,000, and now it's got to cool off. That spring recoiled, it stretched completely out, and now that spring's got to recoil again. But what you can see, we dropped down, we lost that 50 moving average, and currently we're retrying to test it. If we cross it, then I'll become a little more bullish. What I need to see, though, is I need to see this support line, this resistant line now at 114, 115,000. I need to see us get over it, retest it successfully, and then we can think about a move to the upside. But until then, we've lost the 50 moving average. Our daily golden zone is below it. We wicked in, and you can see that wick's even bigger on a daily chart, and we're going to fill it out. First stop's going to be 106,000. If we lose this, your next stop is that weekly golden zone. I would watch this 50 moving average or this 200 moving average very close, because a lot of times when it loses that, it likes to come down and look to that for support, and it's just another fluid moving support. Being a 200 moving average, it takes 200 of these candles and creates a line. That's why it's lower. So 98 to 100,000 could be a good bounce point. If we lose that, we're looking at around 90,000. I'm not going to worry about topside targets tonight. We need to understand where we finish this move before we move on and try to decide where we're going. We're going to take this one step at a time, guys. I'm going to help you guys be successful in this. When we get to a place that I feel like we can probably start entertaining some longs, I will let you guys know. Okay, enough of Bitcoin. That gives you a pretty good idea. Let's go ahead and look at Ethereum's liquidation heat map. There you have it. No liquidations to the downside, and you can tell we're starting to work up. I think what happened is it went up, there was some liquidations set in, people got silly, 100x leverage, and we came back down to grab them, but it's not enough that it's showing up on the chart. But if you look to the top side, to the previous high, it's not showing me. But you can figure there's probably $8 to $10 billion worth of liquidations here as well. So we're going to come up. I don't know that we run after this immediately. The charts are going to tell us that. And so we'll just go ahead and jump into that. That's a good idea on Ethereum. From a liquidation standpoint, we're going to go out to the weekly chart again and get the really big picture of what's going on. Give it a second to load here. There we go. Kind of the same thing going on. We've got a bull flag forming here. What these are descending channels, and bull flags like to break to the upside. So you can tell we've got something kind of promising here. There's hope, but I think we've got more downside before we get there. The weekly 50 moving average, the 50 candles, sits right around $2,900 to $3,000. That's also the very bottom of this channel. So what we could do is come back up, test the top of this channel. If we break out, then we're making a run. If we don't, we're going to probably come back down, try to retest this channel, and reach somewhere around $3,000. If we go to the daily chart, it's going to give us a better understanding of where that move might stop. So you can see, we've hit my first target. This is what we talked about last night. I kind of felt like we might get there, and we did, but we've lost that 50 moving average. You can tell there's a little bit of a green candle here. I think we're going to go up and try to retest it. If we turn this into support, I'm probably still not going to take a trade. I'm going to watch this thing and see if we break out. You can see we broke out here, and a couple of you guys reached out to me and said, we broke out. Should we take the long? I said, let it retest, and that's why. A lot of times these things will try to break out, and they'll fall right back into that channel. Historically, when they make this move right here, they go back to the bottom of the channel. It's more times than not, 80% of the time, that's what happens. Also, we talked last night, when you have these big moves down, they don't typically run back up on the first bounce. It's going to come up, it's going to bounce a little bit, and then it's going to come on down. So I really feel like we're going to start looking for this 200 smooth moving average on the daily, which is probably going to sit somewhere around $3,300. So you can tell we could go from 3,300 to 2,700. I think we mentioned 33,000 on the weekly chart. So we're right in a really sweet pocket that I'm going to entertain. I hope that gives you an idea of kind of what I'm looking. There's no sense in going to the 4 hour to figure out where this bounce is. Let's wait on a retest of this 50 moving average before we make any other moves like that. Now, again, you can find all these charts in the Crypto School. You'll find the links to that in my description, along with links to my X where I post updates. And there's a place to find some exchanges to trade on. But yeah, that gives you a kind of a rundown tonight. What a brutal day. I had a good day, but it's not as sweet because I know a lot of you guys didn't. And I want you to know it's okay. I want you, if you need to talk to somebody, I don't care if it's about charts or not. Always reach out to me, leave a comment, reach out to me in the Crypto School. I'm always around. I'm willing to talk to you. If you're struggling with risk management and don't really understand it, reach out to me again. We'll try to figure out some kind of plan that works for your style of trading. But once again, I really appreciate you watching these videos. I'll try to turn something out tomorrow. Maybe we'll do it just on risk management. I don't know. We'll figure something out. But you guys don't lose hope. I don't think the bull market's over. I think we're just recoiling for another explosive move to the top side, and we'll find out. But we need to be patient. This move could take 2 days. Today it took 12 hours, and and you can see what happened. But it may take 2 days. It may take 2 weeks. But what we're going to do is we're going to be patient. If this thing recoils, and I think there's a short opportunity, I'm going to let you guys know, and I'm going to let you know how to trade it. I'm not going to give you the direct entries, but I will explain to you the best way to do it. But I'm gonna wrap this up tonight. Quit talking. I've said enough already. If you need anything at all, if you don't understand, if you're stuck, reach out to me. I'd love to help. But I'm gonna sign out of this one tonight. Chris Hare, the Crypto Cowboy. We'll see you down the road.